to the Mind Shift Movement Podcast with your host, Alan Johnson. On this podcast, Alan will be sharing with you empowering, effective, and actionable knowledge within the health, fitness, and mindset space to help you make the progress and growth that you desire from your life so you'll become the very best version of you, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So now, get ready to dive into today's episode.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Mind Shift Movement Podcast with me, your host, Alan Johnson. And on this episode, I'm going to be speaking to you about the I don't feel like it mindset. And I know 100% that this content will be relatable to you. And I know full well that you would have experienced this at some point within your life. And many of you would have experienced this very recently, okay, going through the COVID-19 and going through the UK lockdown or the global lockdown, wherever you're tuning in from. I know that you would have experienced this at some point, okay? So some days, I'm sure you can agree with me that some days you feel like super motivated. You can literally take on the world. You can do what it is that you need to get done that day. And you go in and do it because you feel so motivated to do it, right? So energized, so upbeat, and you get it done. And then other days, you can just about struggle getting out of bed or getting dressed or getting the most simple tasks done. And I know so many of you would have experienced this, right? So I want you to know that the feeling of not wanting to take action is very common and pretty normal. Has there been something that you've personally been struggling with recently? Something where you've not been taking the right amount of action that you know you should have been taking? And something that you've basically been putting off and procrastinating about? Let us know. So what I've found is that moments that we choose to overcome these feelings, those feelings of not wanting to do much, not wanting to take positive action, is when we really start to make the progress that we desire. So once you start overcoming those feelings and you take the action regardless of how you feel, this is when we really start to make leaps and bounds towards the goals that we desire, right? So no matter whether we feel like it or not, to truly get ahead in life, we have to take action regardless. So now recently with COVID-19 and of course the lockdown, I've personally found it much more difficult to execute my plans. Okay? And I know most people will be experiencing this as well. You know, we've all got our own unique lifestyles. We've all got different bits going on. With some of us are parents. Some of us run a business. Some of us, trying to work a job, and some of us are obviously furloughed. So everyone's kind of got different things going on right now. With all the changes and the unknown, it can make things much more challenging. You know, I've had a lot of calls recently and messages just from people that are really struggling with their mental health right now. And I know that off the back of this, mental health is going to go through the absolute roof. And I've experienced it already. You know, people messaging me, needing a little bit of guidance, needing just someone to talk to. You know, I've seen it happening right now. So for me, it's been tough having, you know, my fiance being now 37 weeks pregnant. So the baby's due date is on the 21st of June 2020. And at the last scan, they basically said, like, the baby's big, it's growing fast, so you can have the baby literally any time now. So she's 37 weeks pregnant, plus we've got a very, very active 2-year-old son called Alfie, and trying to keep him occupied can be extremely difficult at times. So my main challenge right now is trying to keep my business going and trying to develop my business and brainstorm new, exciting, innovative ideas that's going to get me through COVID-19, get me through lockdown, to continue supporting my clients and growing my business. It can be very difficult to have that kind of free time to get that done around the family life. And as well as this as well, we've just become first-time buyers. So we're in this property and it's all been, I've worked really bloody hard to get all this place decorated. So that's been taking up a lot of my time as well. So it's, life's been really, really crazy. And I know, like, I'm not the only person going to be in this situation where life's feeling a bit crazy right now. Okay, so I completely understand where others are struggling. Okay, we all have unique challenges going on. But what we have to remember is we have to create our own unique plans. So, to get through this battle and to continue pushing for that growth that we desire from our lives, right? So these plans are going to be with specific actions that we know is going to take us in the direction of our goals. We have to do those actions regardless of whether we feel like it or not. And it's the days that we don't feel like it, where we do still show up and we do still take positive action, is when we really start reaffirming that self-belief within ourselves that we can take action when we don't feel like it. So it's that taking action regardless of how we feel is such a powerful act. So, of course, as well, like sometimes there's going to be unique challenges that pop up within our lives, and plans are going to change. That is life at the end of the day. We've had plenty of those times frequently pop up, especially recently. I know other people have as well. But on the average day, we need to continue to push on and make things happen. So I hope this helps inspire many of you to get yourself back on track. So in real simple terms, really, it's just like if you're struggling right now to take action because you don't feel like it, just reevaluate, get yourself pen and paper out and just write down, some clear actions of what you need to be taking on a daily basis, on a weekly basis right now that is going to push you further towards your goals and your desires. And you've got a plan. You've got a plan, and don't just take action whether you feel like taking action. Take the action because that's what you need to be doing to continue making the progress. And once you take that action, you'll feel good for it as well. So it's like a double whammy here, really. Okay, so your goals must be worth the struggle. If your goals aren't that exciting and when you've achieved them, you're not going to feel that fulfilled, they're goals that aren't really worth chasing. Okay, so you have to have goals that are worth the struggle, worth the grind, worth the hustle. Sometimes, I ain't about hustle 24/7 anymore. I used to be. I'm not like that anymore. I'm all about balance. I'm all about working effectively. With the time that we have to work at our most effective, and we have to create frameworks to make that happen, guys. So thanks for tuning in. So please take a screenshot right now of whether you're listening to on the Facebook Live or the podcast. Take a screenshot and please share it on your social media stories, whether that be Instagram or Facebook. Okay, please share this content with as many people as possible, with your friends, family, co-workers, people you know. So take a screenshot right now on the Facebook Live or the podcast. Go share it on your social media stories, and I'll catch up with you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Mind Shift Movement Podcast with Alan Johnson. Make sure you join Alan's free Facebook community group, the Mind Shift Movement Podcast Community. Please support the show by clicking subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Share this episode with at least one friend that would benefit from it, and share the episode on your social media stories. Please go and leave us a 5-star review to help us reach out to more potential listeners. And we really look forward to bringing you the next episode.